NVIDIA Ferrari Edition, the heart of the race.
Hello everyone and welcome to round number 8 of the Formula SimRacing Academy Championship. Today we are here from the Hungary circuit for 42 laps for these Academy drivers. This is the third tier of the SimRacing calendar. And today at the Hungary circuit we have a 42 lap race around a 4.3 kilometer circuit. Very tight and twisty, some call it Monaco without the barriers, as it is such a short, sharp track, loads and loads of corners, got 14 corners. However, we still managed to get 2 DRS zones, one down the start-finish straight, and then the other out of turn 1 down into turn 2, which is a wonderful overtaking zone. And today these drivers will be driving our FSR 2019 car, over 900 horsepower, about 740 kilos, and they also have 2 fuel mixtures, 2 boost mixtures as well that they can choose. And in this qualifying session, in the background, they will be using their absolute highest setting that they can do to get a fastest lap today. And we're going to jump straight on board with Jackson Went, who has got, I think, 3 pole positions this year. But he's still not too high up in the championship as his races haven't gone to plan. And today the drivers have the ultra soft, the soft, and the medium compound tyre. So there's a bit of a jump. Usually have the super softs, but today is the ultra softs. However, Go Speed are now racing, or qualifying even, on soft tyres. So they want to start the race on this compound, as if you qualify in the top 10, you have to start on your qualifying compound. And they think they're quick enough to do that. Jackson's sliding there on these soft yellow tyres. See, not optimal to qualify on these. However, he is now in P18. And just in the Coventry books, we are now joined by Alex Skinner.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for another round of the Formula SimRacing Academy Championship. And obviously, thank you, Cameron. It's great to be here once again for what is going to be a very entertaining race. And last time out at the Hockenheimring, we saw plenty of role reversal. We saw Jan Wozniacki take the title lead that he had been chasing down since the start of the season. And, well, he's 10 points clear now of teammate Cas Rietveld. So it's going to be interesting to see what the Dutchman can do to retaliate from the pole. And at the moment in qualifying, well, it looks pretty game, set and match. Mainly because of the fact that Jan isn't here today. And that was announced at the end of the last round, as Boratowski just has a bit of an accident on his quali lap. But it was announced last time out that Jan wouldn't be here, so the title lead, no matter what, will swap places unless Cas does not score that well or retires. So it's going to be interesting, and with the Hungarian being one of those more tricky technical circuits, it's not necessarily a difficult circuit, but it's tricky and technical, and it's one of those that you can easily make a small little mistake that can cost you a lot of time. And speaking of people that are currently being costed a lot of time, Michael Wilson 13 minutes left in the session. Just about to start a lap on those soft tyres. He's currently in 26th place. It's not where the Scotsman would want to be, but as he comes down the start-finish straight, the DRS wide open. Heads into turn 1, brakes just before the 50-metre board. Clips that apex nicely onto the second of the DRS zones. Obviously, as Cameron said, only 2 here, so plenty of retaliation if you make the DRS work. And that's sort of what the theme is going to be of the DRS zones around the circuits this year. I believe only a couple of circuits where DRS is more of a defence, but Michael, 6/10 off Noah Roivers, who's currently pole, by the way, so great qualifying by Noah, because he has very much proven some pace. And also someone else I'm very surprised at the front is Henry Sinnig, 3rd place for the Drillers Motorsport car, so great to see him up the front as well. So plenty of drivers that we're not used to seeing at the front being at the front. And Cameron, I'm really, I'm really looking forward to this if this is the case.
Yeah, with these tyres, I mean, it really isn't working for those people on the softs. You can see on the column on the left, everyone on those purple, pinky purple ultra soft tyres is at the top, and everyone on the soft is at the bottom. So it's clearly not working. They are at least half a second, if not more, slower on raw pace in qualifying. So this is going to be really difficult. But where can Michael Wilson put himself? 22nd. So yeah, he is miles off where they want to be. But the ultra softs will not last too much more than 5, 6, 7 laps in the race. So it's whether you want the track position or you want to have a better strategy for this 42-lap race.
Yeah, definitely. And I think a lot of people who don't get into the top 10 will probably just switch straight onto those harder compound tyres and make sure that they can run a longer first stint, because especially around here, track position is key. This is one of those circuits where overtaking is extremely difficult, unless you ask Lewis Hamilton or Sebastian Vettel or Sergio Perez for that matter. But this is obviously sim racing, and well, we've got plenty of drivers who, fancy themselves to be the next Daniel Ricciardo dive bomb extraordinaire. And we do have the Flag to Flags space program trophy to award for the first driver to fling themselves over the barrier in any session, because, well, the past 2 times we visited this circuit in 2016 and 2017, at least one driver managed to go over the barrier. And, well, Cameron, it happened to be you in 2016, didn't it?
Yeah, the barriers are really close here, and if there's any sort of accident, you do tend to end up past the barrier. So yeah, that has happened in the past 2 years, but let's hope that that doesn't happen today, because it's not fun for the driver who is spinning around. And I was just on board with Jan Granqvist, and he's in 6th place. So the Drillers Motorsports drivers 3rd, 6th, and 8th at the moment. So that is that's very good for them, considering they only joined, I think in round 4 or something like that. So good to see them up there at the top. And I actually did a race for Drillers last weekend with an endurance race, and Drillers got the win there as well. So they're certainly in some positive spirits coming into this race.
Most definitely indeed. And another car that I'm, I've been looking up and down this grid, eyeing up some of the drivers up there, and obviously Zoltzuk's up the front. Great to see him back up the front where he belongs. And then we have Mr. Felix, Marco Felix. I've not seen him race. I believe it's going to be his first race in Grid 1 at least. I'm just going to sort of default to saying Grid 1 because I don't know which drivers have made Grid 2 and haven't. But it's great to see him up there. So Ground Effect having a good race here, having a good qualifying session here, I should say. Obviously, you mentioned Noah Roivers, Henry Sinnig, Jan Granqvist, Ballas Galliard up the front, Alfie Lawrenson up the front, Brandtholm up the front as well for NRWO. So it's looking like a lot of these teams that I wouldn't say are back-end teams, but you see more consistently in the midfield are up the front. And this is going to be something that I find extremely interesting to see how this develops, especially with these alternating tyre strategies potentially.
Yes, because it's a short track as well, the lap time is going to be so close. I mean, at the moment, we got the top 20 within 0.7 of a second as Pavlov goes up to P7 and Rybacek goes 10. So the lap time is going to be very close to this track, just with the nature of it being 4.3 kilometers. It is second shortest. I think the only one that's shorter is Brazil, which is our season finale, way down the line in November. But today for Hungary, yeah, I think it's the second shortest that we have all season. So it's very tight. Got to find your space out there to get your quali laps in, and in terms of lap time, they will be very close.
Most definitely, indeed. It'll be extremely interesting to see what will happen. And just looking up and down the order, Andrzej Borotowski is currently on a lap. He's 3/10 up on his best and only 1/10 down on his teammate in that first sector. Nearly gets caught by Edward Thaler. Great to see Edward back here. Obviously, both the Patala brothers racing here today. But the amount of time that Borotowski loses in the mid-sector, he was only at 10th down in the first sector. He lost 7/10 in that fight. Oh, in that second sector as the rear end comes out through the penultimate corner. He's still up on his best, but I wouldn't be surprised if that 10th that he had is completely gone, as he will hit the DRS. Yet it's all gone. Well, he's still gained at 10th, and he's up to 23rd. So good job by Balet Galliard. Michael Wilson on an improvement as well. He's bolted on those ultras. He's gone, nah, not having this. So we'll see what the Scotsman can do through the long right hand of this corner. Feels like an age. This is where in 2016 Cook famously lost the rear end whilst leading the title, and well, that really actually cost him mid-year. And well, Michael Wilson
Only 18th.
Yeah, that is shocking. He wasn't confident coming into this round, but with Michael, he usually says he's pretty slow, and then it turns out he gets something like 3rd or 4th on the grid. So, you know.
And your man Felix just got up to P number 6 for Grand Flex Sim Racing. And Noah Roivers is up there in P3 as well at the moment. So that is a little bit better return to form, because Noah did get a podium back in Baku.
Rifeld to pole, Cameron, and someone that's looking pretty feisty as long as he can keep this middle sector together.
I think he is on it this weekend, Cas Rifeld, because he knows Jan Wozniacka, who has won the last 2 of the last 3 races. He knows he's not here, and he is his championship rival. So Cas really needs to win this race to get back in.
Definitely, and I'm just having a look down in 25th. Mike Almeida, that's come across the line. He was looking very, very quick. He comes across the line, goes to only 24th, and that is 1 second off the pace. But that, you know, if you look, he's 1:15.8, so he's the last car in the 15s. But that is a second difference between the top 25 cars. That is amazing, you know, in terms of the gap and how close these guys are today.
Yeah, we just jumped on board with Henry Sinnock, kind of only in 5th place. He's a very promising talent for the future, and we're just watching him come through the second sector. This is where a lot of the time is gained. There are so many corners in this middle sector, starting with the left-hander, now the right-hander, then through the chicane. Got this flick left and right, which is kind of a really long chicane as you want to work your way out through turn 10, which is nice and flat. Turn 11, this is sometimes downtish, sometimes just a little lift. You want to take that as quick as you can as we get to the end of Sector 2, and now coming to Sector 3, which is only 3 corners, but it is oh so important because they are all slow traction corners. You've had one, now you've got this penultimate corner slightly off camber as well. You see the rear end's trying to jump around from him, and now he's coming around the last corner.
He's also up on Cass's time, Cameron, and that's still, oh, that was very beautiful. Oh my God, 6 thousandths of a second onto pole for Henry Sinnock. That is beautiful. And with 4 minutes left, I don't think, yeah, Cass has got 1 run left to, you know, take it back. But I think he might have this, Cameron.
Well, we'll see. 6 thousandths is only a blink of an eye. We'll have to see what Cas Rifeld does as he comes out to do his final lap in a couple of minutes. We've still got 3 minutes left. These drivers are limited to 4 hot laps, or 4 runs, basically. You have 12 laps, in lap, fast lap, out lap, or way around, out lap, fast lap, in lap. So only really get 4 opportunities. And I've just looked, Pavlov in P8, he's set his time on ultra softs, but he's now gone out on the softs. So unless he goes quicker, he's still going to have to start on those ultra soft compounds. So we have to see how that can go. It hasn't been an absolutely stunning lap so far. It's having to go a little bit slower in the corners, obviously, as these are 2-step harder tyres, so they don't really give that initial bite that you want. the Ultra Sifts give you. But he's only got 2 laps left, so we'll just stay with him and see what he can do. He's had a very promising start to the year. He got a win back in Baku as well. So been up the top at a couple of other races. And Royal Blue are definitely doing good in their first season. But where can he put himself? Yeah, he doesn't improve. 16.2. So yeah, he's well off the pace there, obviously. Soft compound tyres.
That is, yeah, obviously well off the pace. And here we go, Cameron. This will be something we need to keep an eye on. I'll keep an eye on it. But the title, well, effective title leader, it will be leaving the pit lane, Cameron. And this will be a very close to the line run. Michael Wilson following him out as well.
Alright, so first to start their final runs is Andrei Boratovsky. The Netrex down in P25. He had a good race back in China, or good qualifying back in China, but he hasn't done too much since. So the next driver is going to be looking for a better second half of the season, as this is round 8 of 16. We're now or 14, I should say. We are now getting towards start the second half of the season, and this is where drivers are really going to start focusing on their points and what they have to do to get a certain position in championship. He's the first driver to attempt a 4th run. However, he's got a little bit of traffic. Hopefully that doesn't hold him up. Should be on the little straight by the time he catches them. And it's like a pretty decent lap so far, but he's just hit that curb. And that's the thing with these curbs; they're quite angled. So if you hit it, you get a lot of oversteer in the car. He's got 2 cars to pass as well in this 3rd sector. So I don't think this is going to be much of a improvement from Andrei Boratovsky. Currently down in P25, so he's going to be well off the top 10 at this current time. However, he's got a fairly decent last corner. Let's see what he does. Coming across the line, can he improve? No, he can't, and he is not happy with that at all.
No, he is not indeed. And as the final few drivers start the lap, obviously 49 seconds of the session left. So still 49 seconds for drivers to cross that line and get their laps done. And well, knowing how rFactor works, if you come across the line with 0 seconds left, it will still let you do one.
Cass is on his lap. I want to have a look at his. As Henry is still in the pit lane.
Oh, that was very, very tight. He's down by a 10th. Obviously, Henry's got no more laps left. He is done. His session is done. So, Cass, this is his do-or-die lap for pole position here.
Oh, he's gone on the grass. That's
not going to help. It's going to help the car.
And he's gone off. Yeah, that's it.
He's called it a day. And
however,
Michael Wilson has called it a day as well. I'm just trying to see, is there anyone else actually on the
Zolt Sooks at the moment. Danov Brandholm actually gone up to P11. He is bolted on those purple tyres. But Zolt Sooks, he's the only person who can really challenge for pole now. He just needs to improve 0.08 of a second, and he's now coming through turn number 4. Almost flat out. Wow.
He's improved by 100th, Cam, but he's still got that middle sector, and we know that Netrex seem to like their higher wing settings from previous experience, so maybe it's going to finally come in handy for the team. And
yeah, this car does look very planted, I have to say, compared to some other cars that they probably have a maximum wing on.
He's up by enough, Cameron. It looks he's up by enough at the moment. He comes across the line. Oh, just loses it. It seems that car is losing mid-corner speed, and anything he gains under braking, he loses in the traction zone. So we'll see. He's got plenty of time to gain through this final corner. He's up by 10th on the relative. A bit wide. That's not going to help. Out of the corner, hits the DRS. This looks like a very solid improvement. It's going to be pole for Zolt Sooks by 0.05 of a second.
Yeah, that was a very nice lap in from Zolt Sooks. He really got hooked up on that lap, and the car looked really good. So Netrex definitely looked like they got a good setup here, because Galliard is down in 6th place as well. However, is Zolt Sooks who takes pole position for the Hungarian Grand Prix, followed by Henry Sinnick, Kas Rivers, and Vladislav Pavlov getting in the top 5. I mean, the top 20 are only covered by just under 0.8 of a second, so it is a really close session here in Hungary.
And that is what we like to see. And that's what the Academy Championship has always brought us, is extremely close racing. And that's what I love, and that's why I love commentating on this series. It is such a close and tight, action-packed series that always gives us some good racing. No matter where are we looking at, Phil? We could be looking at first, we could be looking at last, we could be looking slap bang in the middle, and, well, there is always a good fight on our hands, but, well, you know, we hit that warm-up session, and I think we need to go and refuel ourselves, Cameron, because this is going to be a very, very, very entertaining and action-packed round here at the Hungary.
Yes, we will take a quick break and then we'll be back in a few minutes to run you through the grid, as there are a couple of penalties for today, so we will get back to you in a couple of minutes. Hello and welcome back to round number 8 of the Formula SimRacing Academy Championship today from the Hungaroring for the Hungarian Grand Prix. And I'm your commentator, Cameron Rodger, and once again I'm joined by your other commentator, Alex Skinner.
Ladies and gentlemen around the world, it's time for what is going to be, well, when I say it's time, we've got four and a quarter minutes left before it's time, and well, some penalties in light that I've been informed of during the little break we had to refuel, and, well, our pole sitter, Zolt Sux, has got a 4-place grid drop, and that's going to put him in 5th place, which is going to promote Cass, I believe, God, me in my head today, up into the top spot. So that is going to be absolutely brilliant to see. Obviously, other drivers with penalties as well are going to feature Tom Lamberts with a pit lane start due to a late allocation. Same with Callum Roberts. Jacob Karjovic is a 16-place drop. Gerard Batalla as a 12th place. And Milan Rajovic has a pit lane start for a late allocation. I apologise. It is going to be Henry Cynic on pole. So, the Drillers driver, who's not had the best of luck this season, is coming into this round pole. This is going to be interesting, because he's going to be lining up alongside, who's effectively at this rate, so long as he doesn't, have a repeat of Silverstone. Cass Ratefeld, the title leader, alongside him into turn 1. And they're going to be joined by Noah Roivers on the second row of the grid and Vladislav Pavlov. What is this grid? This top 4, Cameron. This top 5, because Zolt 6 is obviously 5th. But this top 4, 3 of the 4 cars in that top lot are drivers you would not expect up there. And everyone who is watching the broadcast today, please get involved in the chat. Obviously, I'm going to be keeping an eye on it. And, I'm going to be keeping an eye and bring a bit more of a personal feel to this Academy round, because, well, it might be a good idea. We'll see. But Cameron now holds his head in his hand to go, oh dear God, what have you done? But, we'll see. But Cameron, it's not a grid that you'd expect, really. It's a very interesting and intriguing one.
Oh yeah, certainly not. I mean, if we have a look at our championship standings, we've got Jan Wozniacki leading on 117.5 points. Yes, 0.5, because we had half points in Baku due to the red flag. And 10 points behind him is Cass Rietveld, and 45 points behind him is Yuri Siravatsky, who's managed to get himself up into 3rd place in the championship, because Vladislav Pavlov has had a couple of DNFs, unfortunately, which have hindered his points intake. And then below him, by a couple of points, is Jackson Vent on 53 points. But Jackson, unfortunately, missed Britain, because for some reason he just couldn't connect to the server, and then he has had pole 3 times, but has not been able to convert them to a win. And then we've got Silverstone winner Tom Lombards in 6th place as well. But he's missed 2 races and had 1 DNF. So the championship is a little bit all over the place. No one's really had a perfect run so far. With Jan missing this race, that really gives Cass a good opportunity to be able to retake the championship lead. He only needs to get, I think it's 6th place. Let's have a position. Yes, 6th place to be able to retake the championship lead. So we'll have to see what he does in the 42 laps today.
Definitely, and obviously this sort of resets it pre-Silverstone in a way, because, Silverstone, Cass had his accident, didn't really qualify that well, and then had his accident towards the end of the race. And now Jan is missing a race. It basically swaps everything around back to how it was. And this will be very interesting as Cameron. But it'll be interesting indeed to see what happens. And I'm gonna be sat here with, with plenty of happiness and intrigued ideas as to what could happen and what could go on, as Thomas Lentz, our loving admin, posts the standings in the chat for you all to be able to see. Thanks, Tom. Much appreciated. But obviously, as we end the warm-up session, everyone moves to their respective place on the grid, and Oh boy, we've got I was about to say a long race ahead of us, but with how short the Hungaroring is, it really isn't that long at all, and, well, it will be very intriguing indeed, and with Siravatsky, obviously, relatively far down the order, 23rd place. It's going to be interesting to see what he can do to maybe gain some points in the championship as well.
The main thing with how short tracks work in rFactor 2 is rFactor 2 really cares in terms of tyre wear about corner time. It's not like in real life where the lower speed nature and things like that would help the tyres. In rFactor 2 it's really about how long you are in the corners. So even though there are the same amount of kilometers per race, which is I think 187 Academy Championship, doesn't actually mean that you're going to have the exact same strategy every single race. We have so many more laps here compared to tracks that we do. So we've seen a lot of one-stop strategies, and often they have been able to push that. However, with the ultra soft tires, we'll see if that stop work, especially if they're starting at the front. It only lasts 5 or 6 laps. Is going to be
It will be indeed, and as we now can semi-relax, I would say, is we've got a nice bit of quiet, the calm before the storm, as Danny Robbins decides to, you know, well, he's still sort of stuck in the pit lane, but I hear an engine. That's Mike Almeida. I was going to say the calm before the storm, and Mike, what are you doing, my good friend? But you know that calm before the storm, before what has always been a pretty entertaining turn one, lap one in the third tier of the series. I remember 2016. I was an engineer back for Invictus, where I am now actually. And turn one was quite entertaining, to say the least, with about 4 cars going into it, 3 ACRs and an Invictus, and, well, it didn't end that well. It ended up with about 7 cars involved in one accident. But, we now line up on the grid the 15 seconds before the formation lap. Everyone rushes to get onto the grid. And, well, who's going to be on pole for this Hungaroring, the 42-lap race? Around the 4.3 kilometer circuit, and, well, it's going to be Henry Sinek. And a very, very happy Henry Sinek. Then it's going to be Cas Reutveld alongside him. Then Noah Roivers, Vladislav Pavlov, Zodsuks, Galliard, Felix, Grankvist, Batala, Edward Batala. I've got to make the distinguishment this round. Then Jackson Vent, Dan Ove Branton, Niranjan Kumar, Alfie Lawrenson, Indrek Rematz, Rainier Vigier, Marcin Rybachuk, Mihalo Vicentovic, Mike Almeida, Danny Robbins, Adam Rainey, Michael Wilson, a lot further down than he really should be. Vlad Tokarev, same for Tokarev actually, he's had a shocker of a qualifying. Jiri Siratsky, same for him. Andrej Boratovsky, Dmitry Zaharov, all aboard the no-wing train, woo-woo. Then Jacob Karchevich and Gerard Batala, the final car to be starting on the grid. Now, obviously, Lombert, Rakovic, we'll get this right eventually, and Roberts all starting from the pit lane due to late allocations. They will be very intrigued to see what they do indeed. And I'm just looking down the stretch. Obviously, the top 10, all on the Ultra Softs. Then Branthon is on the softs, Kumar's on the mediums, Lawrenson's on the softs, so is Remitz, so is Vigier, so is Rybachuk, Vicentovic's on the mediums, Almeida's on the softs, Robbins is on the mediums, Rainey's on the mediums, Wilson's on the mediums, so is Tokarev, and Siravatsky, and Boratovsky, Zaharov, Karchevich, and Batala. Now, obviously, we'll have to wait, see what Lomberts, Rakovic, and Roberts start on, because obviously they're in the pit lane, so it won't really update until they leave the garage. But already plenty of differing strategies as we get ready for the 42-lap race here around the Hungaroring. And as Henry Sinek coasts into his grid slot, lines himself up, and he's not really angled, so he's set himself up nicely there, actually, for what is going to be the start. No one really looking very aggressive in their box. Oh, as apparently Rakovic has been DQ'd for some reason. Of course, someone always has to leave the pit lane just a tad too early, don't they? But we will see, because the lights, well, we're waiting for them. And it's a very long wait.
And
Is
there's
someone...
there's a car in the background who's quite in his pit start seat.
And that is Noah Roivers' engine up in smoke already. Noah, is your radiator okay? Because, you know, you might want to have that looked into. Hopefully, it doesn't blow up on the grid. And we're going to abort the start. So Noah's now thanking his lucky stars that we're aborting the start. That is the first time I've seen an engine smoke on the grid for a good couple of years now. I've not seen that for a long, long time, and not sure what actually fully caused the start to be aborted, but I'd assume it would be a mix between Rakovic, and yeah, that is the case. It is so that Rakovic can start this race. He's been told to leave and rejoin because of a DQ. I think he might have tried leaving the pits a bit too early, Cameron.
I think it's actually where his garage is, and he's technically outside of the pit lane. Because where
Oh, that is true.
that's speed. But anyway, we'll see what race director Peter Schultz decides to do. But yeah, we'll just have a quick restart the warm-up session. Just make sure that the start of the race is fair for everyone. Chance to they should be. Just be another. So till we get.
But yeah, get your messages in the chat, ladies and gentlemen. Who's going to win this race? Is it going to be Cynic, Reitfeld, Roivers, Pavlov? Who's it going to be? It's going to be intriguing indeed. I'm going to say that Cynic's going to do it. I think Cynic can do this, personally. He's got the pace, and he's shown that he's got the tyre life. I do believe that, you know, I think he can do this. But Cameron, who are you picking for this race?
Oh, I'm starting to get Henry Cynic hype wagon, to be honest. I think he's got a very promising, because this is only his, I think, third race in FSR. So I do think that he's going to really be one to look out for. So he's probably my guess, because I think Cass is going to fight. He's not going to fight really, really hard, because he knows what he has to do. He just needs to get some decent points, and then he will be able to retake the championship lead. But we'll have to see how that plays out. And obviously we don't know what Henry's like leading a race of this level, so we'll have to see how he copes, I guess, with the pressure of being there.
Just has someone in the chat. Roberts is going to win. Well, it's not entirely impossible, actually. You could pull it off. We've seen drivers before manage to come from the back of the grid and suddenly show their face at the front. And, you know, it's all entirely possible. We know that Callum Roberts has shown flashes of pace. And as Rakovic is in the server and not disqualified, and he doesn't have a different garage. Although he is he technically, he's technically in the pit lane this time. Change of plans. Will he be allowed? Yeah, he'll be allowed to start on the grid, but most likely will take his penalty for the next race, or he'll pit at the end of the formation lap. We'll have a look. Just waiting for race director Peter Schultz to announce what is going to happen. I have to wait on the pit straight and then go when the pit starters go. That is cruel, actually. That is cruel, and I like it. That's a good punishment. So this would be interesting, and obviously no in-game safety cars, so we can't trigger that accidentally. And you'll have to start behind the pit lane starters. Ouch. Ouch indeed. This would be interesting. Victor, yeah, bulk of the grid for aborting the start like real F1. Yeah, fair enough. I'll give him that. So I'll have a bulk for next round as well. And you slot him behind, so easily said, easily done. But we will be getting underway. We're moving again to the race, and again, another formation lap. But it does give me a bit of time to relax and chill, mellow out before what is going to be, as I said, 42 laps of entertaining action and hopefully no flag-to-flag space program trophy. I so wish we could have like replays of that on here, just like flashbacks to 2017 and 2016. They're both on the broadcast as well. Brilliant.
I have them installed in my memory, so
Cameron,
I don't need to I don't need to. I meant in my head. I don't need to replay them again. And
Yeah,
I do hope
lovely,
it doesn't happen this time.
The lovely folks that haven't been here before deserve to see the amazement of cars taking flight into the atmosphere and reaching new grounds, doing what Elon Musk has done but years prior. Anyway, as we move to the race session, we can give up the load of joking and the informalities and get underway with what's going to be a very, very nice race indeed. And well, Rakovic will start on the grid very shortly. Yep, he's on the grid. He's in his grid spot. But what surprises me is, is he the only driver that's got that grid issue?
Yeah, I think it's just where his pit box was. It must have been triggering some sort of thing within the game, but we have sorted now. So he will have to do the formation lap.
The advantage to this, though, he is going to have warmer tyres than the rest of the field, than his pit starting counterparts.
To start from pits it's not that much different because in rFactor 2, as soon as you go through the first two corners, they'll be heated up anyway.
That is true.
So the only thing that he'll be disadvantaged by is like a litre less fuel for doing the formation lap. So, but unfortunately, sometimes these things happen, and this is the quickest and easiest way without having to do a track update when the race has already started.
Yeah, I don't think the Pro and the World Championship drivers would love you very much if we did that, Cameron. But, things happen and needs must, and, well, we're about to get racing here at the Hungarian Ace Prix. Race director just letting Milan know what to do once again. Yeah, Henry Sinek leads this train round on the formation lap, and just looking, the field seems to... A lot more drivers actually going for the medium tyres this time out. That surprises me, because if you remember, in the last session, a lot of the drivers went on to the soft tyres. It seems that drivers seemingly changed their minds in the second warm-up session.
Yeah, that is one of those weird things that cannot be controlled, is that drivers changing their tyres. However, obviously, top 10 still have to start on the ultra soft, but the other people can effectively change their choice. But that is just how it is. It's same for everyone. Park Fermi settings are still enabled because you only went back to the warm-up session. So they still have the same car from qualifying, but the tyres are free choice. And let's see what happens on this restarted race.
Well, the leaders grid themselves up, and the back of the field slowly crawls around the final corner, much like they do in real Formula 1, trying to disadvantage the cars in front of them as much as possible. As Milan Rakovic will be the last car to grid, and he does so indeed. The other cars are lined up at the end of the pit lane. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I think it might be time to go racing. And, well, it looks pretty solid indeed. And the lights come on. 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights. And it's lights out and away we go for the Hungarian Grand Prix. And that is a
there's a crash in the back.
by Rydfeld. And obviously a massive crash really. I'll get to that in a moment. But already Rydfeld to the lead. Roy was looking for second. Going to be on the inside. Sinek's going to hold it. But Sinek is going to lose the lead to Kaz Rydfeld after turn 1. Rivers is already smoking. The radiator is way too low on that car. Pavlov on the outside of Zoltsuks with Balas Galliard behind. Pits are now allowed to leave. But as these guys wiggle their way through, it's already a massive change of the order. Danny Robbins is side by side with Vigier. There's a car off in front. That is Kumarov, and I don't think he's got a front wing. No, he hasn't. He's lost his front wing somewhere. We'll have to go back and have a look at that in a moment, but we'll wait until this simmers down slightly.
Yeah, so basically what happened at the start was the other driller's car, which I think was Grantfist, didn't get away, and that just causes a massive chain reaction of cars trying to avoid behind, and we will get a replay a bit later on when we have time. However, there is obviously some lap 1 action going on. These drivers just trying to sort themselves out, and up into P9 is Brantholm. He is the first driver on those soft compound tyres, so he is the one that we need to look out for. How close can he stay to these ultra soft tyre drivers, because they will have to pit possibly as early as lap 5, maybe to lap 10 if they can hold their tyres on for long enough.
Definitely indeed, and just looking down the order, just trying to see if anyone else has got a really good run. Yes, we have. Jan Grankvist to the inside of Vigier. Not going to be able to make it work, but he's got the run on the outside. Rybachuk is in the pit lane. And Vicentovic, I believe, is going to be the first
Grantfist's going round the outside for here. Right round the outside, bit of contact in turn number 3, that is, but Grantfist gets past him, and that is quite an important move because he is on those ultra soft tyres, and after losing the time at the start, he needs to make it back. So I'm going to now try and find a replay of the start, so let's see.
Already 3 cars out.
I can...
Tokarev, Sirovatsky, and Mihail Vicentovic.
Okay, I'm on board with Grantfist at the start. This is the replay. So got 5 lights. Oh, he was in neutral for some reason, and that is not the best from his point of view. Not much happened, but let's go to the TV camera and let's play this in slow motion. So Jackson couldn't get out of the way in time, and then one of the NRWO cars as well. Then Indrek Remits had to brake, got hit by a TCS off car who spun, and then that just caused contact with number 28, so I think that is Michael Wilson getting involved there as well. So not the best for those drivers in the back. There's probably about 6-7 cars involved there, and we'll have to see if the stewards apply any penalties to that after the race. But well, that was not the nicest situation to be in.
That explains the massive amount of pit callers at the end of lap 1, and also the amount of retirements. Obviously 3 retirements, as I said, Vicentovic, Sirovatsky and Tokarev. So already 2 main drivers, actually, who are very well known for being at the front, out of this race already. And, well, that is Remits. Remits has gone off the 3rd to last corner, actually. He's just slowly crawling his way. Rybachuk. Rybachuk is out of this race as well. No one else is... Oh. Definitely indeed. And looking at that front fight once again, obviously, Cynic is in DRS range. He won't be for long at this rate with how his pace is. But as long as he can keep in that pace, he's going to have a good look. And, well, Grandfist is having a good look at Jackson Vent. They both go to the inside. That was nearly Schumacher Barrichello-esque there. And, well, Grandfist gets the move done. And Felix has a look to the inside. Now gets loose on the rear end. This is going to allow Vigier to the inside. And to the inside goes Vigier. He's going to make that move work. And Danny Robbins might have a little sniff as well. But Felix is really losing a lot of time here. Oh! Oh, no. Oh, that was someone getting out of the way. I was wondering who the hell that was for a moment. That is Remitz getting out of the way. I thought that was one of the SimRacing cars off the track. Rivchik is out of this race and has left the server now as well. But Kaz Reitfeld still doing a very good job out front. You know, if you can get track position here, you can pretty much force everyone else to sort of just sit behind and follow you for a while. Seemingly how this circuit seems to work.
Yeah, the main thing for these ultra soft tyre people is when do they pit? If they want to make a one-stop work, they're going to have to go towards lap 10. We're already on lap number 6. However, these tyres do like to drop off quite a lot in terms of their pace.
Oh, Cynic is out of DRS range of Reitfeld, and Roivers is getting very close to the back of Cynic now. And as Cynic runs wide, I think that hype train of a win is getting a bit derailed because it seems that Driller's Motorsport car is seemingly struggling a fair bit. And have you noticed the train from 10th back, which is currently Vigier, Vent, Felix, Robbins, Almeida, and Boratovsky? Because this is a massive train, all fighting for a top 10 finish. And obviously all of these guys are going to get points, so these guys are just basically fighting for, you know, bragging rights in terms of points here. And, well, if you look at these guys, they all seem to have a nice car set up for the mid-sector, but it doesn't seem to really want to go anywhere else. And also, back at the front actually now, because we are coming around to that final corner, Cynic seems to have to run a wider line through the penultimate corner, and it allows him to get a decent amount of traction, but it kills through that final corner. And, well, here we go, here comes Noah Roivers, and, well, he swerves, and he gets down the inside, and it's a clean and safe move by Roivers, and he's not going to have the DRS to defend, but Cynic is going to have to go to the outside, and it's very difficult to make a move work on the outside, as Cynic's proving by the car just understeering wide, just not wanting to grip, and those tyres that are more fourth hand at this point of the race than second hand are not really living up to the grip that they need at the moment.
Yeah, these two need to think about how they're fighting. They don't want to let Cass get away too far. But at the moment it's only about 2 seconds, so it's not too bad at this early stage in this 42 lap race. But they just don't want to lose too much time fighting and scobbling, because the real fight is later on.
Cynic's pit indicator is on. I have a feeling
his
that
pace is dropping. Yeah, he's 2 seconds off Rovers.
Well, yeah, and he's lost that in 2 sectors. So, will he come into the pit lane this time by? No, he's going to stay out another lap. So he's most likely going to lose another place to Pavlov.
He had a lot of steering lock there in the final corner. So yeah, his tyres are really getting to the end of their life now.
Michael Wilson is out of this race as well, I've just noticed.
Yeah,
we've happened to him?
7 retirements so far.
God. Is this Academy, Cameron? I feel like I'm commentating a pro race again.
He came in the pits and stopped. So yeah, I think he must have had suspension damage and has decided to call that a day, which is unfortunate for him because he was looking like he was making some improvements last time out at the Hockenheimring, but not today.
Again, I'm going to reiterate my point. Are we commentating on an academy race or are we commentating on a pro race, Cameron? Because, you know, the amount of attrition we've seen already within the first 8 laps of this race has already been about the same as an academy race, as a pro race, sorry. Oh, as that is a crash, actually. Danny Robbins and Felix have come together.
Oh,
Oh,
yes.
no, what has happened?
Let's get a
Here
replay
we
of this. So
go.
Danny Robbins, he goes wide on the grass, turn
Oh,
4.
he spin!
And then he gets collected by Felix with a bit of wheel contact. And then Felix spins on the grass. Felix might actually have some bad suspension damage from that. Yeah, he can barely get it in a straight line, bless him. So,
Oh, and
yeah.
Batala's got no front wing either. So Batala's gone off.
Oh, Batalo's in a good position as well.
Sinek's in as well from a podium spot. And he's going to drop down a handful of pieces
Soft
now.
compound tyres. That is a 2-stop strategy from Henry Sinek. That is a 2-stop strategy. There's no way he's getting to the end on those. This could really compromise him as he comes out into P13. So all these drivers around him might be trying a one-stop strategy. So he's really going to have to push and make these overtakes work. We're on lap 9 now. If Cass can stay out another lap after this one, he can probably go to the end 32 laps on a set of mediums.
Well, we'll see indeed. Because we know that Cass is pretty good in his tyre life. He's always been one of those guys that can make his tyres last a fair amount. And a couple of drivers saying it looks like a pro race. Well, you know, the retirement attrition seems like a pro race. And, well, the driving seems to be a bit like the pro race at the moment. So, Roivers comes in now.
Ooh.
It is possible to make that work. Because you just have to push those mediums an extra lap or two.
But you've got to watch out for those
really
cars.
Want those tyres, does he? You can tell he doesn't want those tyres. Full braking, full locking up into the pit lane. Stops in his box.
Oh, wow.
2 stops. Softs.
Wow, I was expecting people to try this one
Oh, and
stop.
he's got to wait in his box as well.
Who's that?
That's Gallia. Oh, his box is in the middle of, in between the fast lane and the pit stops.
Yeah, just because there needs to be space for all of them.
Cameron, Kotovic and Rainey side by side into turn 1. I saw this just as Galliard was leaving the pit lane. These two are going at it like rabid dogs. And, well, Kotovic looks to the inside of turn 2. Slight bit of contact. Not going to do anything, though.
That angle of entry was very tight. Oh, God, overtake to turn 4. I don't think we'll see many people overtake into here today. And, yep, no, he doesn't do that. So that is P13 still for Karsovic, who obviously had that 16th place grid penalty, so that's really hindered where he has started in this race. And Cas Reitveld coming around this corner. Yes, he is in the pit lane. I highly expect him to take the medium compound tyres and try one stop.
Pavlov is going to stay out, Cameron. Lawrenson's going to do the same, obviously, because he's on those softs, so we'll see. And
yes, medium tyres. Well, yeah. I am pretty sure Cass will be trying to get to the end. Obviously, that won't be easy, 32 laps, but will he lose the extra pit stop time that Sinek and Rivers will need? That is what we will have to find out.
Now, Cass rejoins the circuit in 6th, just behind Jackson Vent, and just in front of Mike Almeida. So, ooh, this is going to be interesting. Now, Henry Sinek, wow, he is 3 cars behind Cass. Oh, 4, sorry. No, 3. I am right. God,
Karsovic is having a nice battle here with Adam Rainey again down into turn 2. And they've got a Ghost Speed car behind them as well. But this time Karsovic gets alongside into turn 2. He doesn't just have his nose there, so he has made that move stick. And that's going to really slow down Adam Rainey for Tom Lombards, who started from the pit lane, now up into P14, but they couldn't quite make this overtake work.
Oh, Rainey's run a bit wide though, so it's going to allow Lombards to have a little look. Not going to come to fruition though, but definitely he's getting a bit tasty for the Belgian now. And obviously Galliard watching very, very closely indeed. And Pavlov is in from the race lead. Lawrenson is going to stay out, and so is Dan over Branton.
They're on the soft compound tyres though, so we'll expect them to go maybe... Well, I mean, they can make that one stop work if they get towards sort of... Well, well, any time now, really, on the next 5 laps. And Pavlov goes to the mediums as
Mediums.
well. But where does he come out compared
He's going to
to...
come out behind Cynic.
Yeah, see, those Ultra Softs have really... Oh, Cynic has gone for a massive dive bomb down the inside
He's
of
going to make it
Andrei
work.
Boratovsky, because he knows he needs to stay with Rivers, and Rivers doesn't actually have DRS, so Cynic's going to have to try and go around the outside, but that doesn't work on this occasion. And these two drivers are still behind Cass Reveld. However, Cass will not be making any other pit stop, so this is a really crucial time for these drivers.
Yeah, definitely. And obviously, with Cass sat pretty in 5th place, he's got a race lead effectively in his, in the palm of his hand at the moment. Only 20 cars running. Gee, Battaglia, Robbins, and Felix. 3 more cars to add to
Unfortunately, there was
the retirement list.
that incident on the start-finish straight. I'm sure lots of these drivers would still be going if that hadn't have happened. However, there is a reason why this is the 3rd tier. It's a bit more forgiving with allowing. I mean, the rules don't change, but obviously it's meant to be as a more beginner series.
Jackson Vent is in the pit lane. Oh, Jesus Christ! Almost lost it coming into the pit lane.
Yeah, he broke.
Scary.
He overbroke there because he actually had to speed up to get to the pit limiter. And yes, I assume
This has got to be mediums.
Yeah, I assume anyone pitting now who started on the ultras or softs will go to the mediums.
Lombert's to the outside of Adam Rainey, and Galliard's going to have a little bit of a sniffle as well. And Lombert side by side with Rainey. There's contact. There's wheel banging.
Who's got the DRS? It's Rainey who's got the DRS. So he is going to have a tiny bit more speed. However, Tom Lombards has the racing line on the inside, down into turn number 2 and now number 3.
Callum Roberts isn't that far off of these guys as well, and Noise Rekovic, so he is getting very feisty indeed. But it seems like the guys that started from the pit lane, their tyres seemingly working a bit nicer than some of these guys that started on the grid, which is good to see. As I thought Galliard was going to have a bit of a dive there for a second, but thankfully not going to happen. And if you have a bit of a look at the front, you can see Lawrence and Brantham all in one shot, and then Cass is just peeking his nose in. Lawrenson. Alfie Lawrence is in the pit lane, Cameron. They're 2 different cars, 2 different names. I would have forgiven you if you got the Battaglias mixed up, but no.
So, he in theory as well should take these medium tyres. Let's see what he does. Yes, he does. So... Yes, so Henry Cynic now, he is coming onto the back of a Breslin car, which is Mike Almeida, who is still out on those soft compound tyres from the start, and he gets nicely down the inside.
Yeah, Mike
leaves him tons of room.
Letting him through. Just no point really fighting him. Just let him go and just let the car fight, or not let the car fight, but let the car pull away from you, lose less time. And
well, Adam Rainey now. Adam Rainey... coming around the outside of turn number 2. He's going to try and make it work, but there's a bit of contact with Galliard there. So that is now P14 for Adam Rainey. Adam Rainey, who's now got Callum Roberts right behind him. So there seems to be a lot of moves down into turn 2, actually. That DRS zone is playing quite well for some of these drivers.
Yeah, I was going to mention as well, it's actually, I think, the first time an NRWO has led a Formula SimRacing race for a long time.
Possibly.
Been a while.
I know Kumar was quite high up in Baku, so he might have led a couple of laps, but certainly, yeah, this is one of the first times they've actually been leading a race, so it's a good job to them. Obviously, alternate strategy, but still a good job.
He's making these tyres last a long way, so is Vigier. So these guys, I wouldn't be surprised. They can keep these tyres going. They maybe...
We've got Pavlov now, P8, coming onto the back of Gerard Battaglia, I should say, coming down the inside. Nice, easy DRS move. And there was someone in the pits there, I think it was Mike Almeida.
That is
who has
Almeida,
taken
as
the
Callum Roberts
mediums.
looks to the outside of Rainey. Ooh, that was very close between the two. Almost a bit of contact front to rear there. As Roberts gets the DRS. Oh!
Wow, that is the first time I've seen that. Yeah, he's going to be out of the race, but that, I think, was just losing it with DRS.
He lit that up on the rears.
Yeah, let's have a look.
Yeah, if you listen and look at the steering, he puts more steering lock in to get past Rainey, and the way that the
his dirty air as well.
Aero works, yeah, the dirty air Just nothing on that rear wing with DRS is open. No
Or,
grip, diffuser doesn't work.
That was actually quite good by him. He kept turning right to make sure he didn't come back on the track. However, he did destroy the 100-meter board, so someone
Well, if you're a good racing driver, you shouldn't be using those boards as visual markers anyway.
Yeah, so,
You know,
so
the
someone
one thing I've learned.
will, oh, so who's this in the pit? Is this
Both
Brandholm
Vigier,
as well?
This is Vigier and Brandholm into the pit lane. Mediums for Vigier, and Brandholm will go onto the mediums as well. They will drop down a fair margin. They might actually get out in the top 10 still.
Back to the front end. No, Rivers is now in the DRS zone of Cas Rietveld. Now we know 99% sure that Rivers and Cynic are going to be making another pit stop. However, we are also 99% sure Cas Rietveld is going to the end. However, this is the lead for the battle for the lead, I should say. So if Noah can get past, he will have about 25 laps to be able to make a whole pit stop time. It's going to be very difficult, but Cass's tyres will be very dead at the end. So Noah's got a chance, although he goes right off the track there actually. He's got a chance, he just needs to get past Cass and then make that gap.
You've got to remember as well though, 1 mediums versus fresh ultras at the end.
Yes.
I think I'm in favour of the ultras actually at this point, because if you think about it, you see the pace difference that they had in qualifying.
However,
that's what we're expecting to see at the end, except slower.
He may do softs though, because he did pit very early in this race, but we'll have to see. And he's very close now, and if he is smart, he will try and use some quali boost here to make this work, because he really needs to get past for this race strategy to work.
He's going to go to the right. Oh no, he's actually going to have to go. Oh, look at this. Around the outside? Oh, go on.
You have DRS as well. Oh, Cass spins! Oh no, he catches it!
Oh my. That was hot. In that I was almost about
wow.
That was Silverstone literally flashing in front of my eyes then. And I think Cass might have just had that flash in front of his eyes as well, hit the brakes, and, well, it's not the worst that could happen. I think it's actually been better than him trying to defend from those two, but, oh boy.
Yeah, I've got to say...
I think both of us are slightly happy that didn't end how it could have ended.
Yeah, I've got a replay here. So, Cass on the inside, he's all over that curb. Wow, yeah, he just had too much steering lock on. Luckily, he didn't get collected by Cynic. But... yes, so he still lived to fight another day, but that means Cynic and Rivers are past. They're in fresh air. And what they need to do is they need to build a whole pit stop, which is about 18 to 20 seconds.
I think
the next 25 laps.
I think Roivers can do it. Roivers can definitely do it, especially if Cynic starts holding Cass up and those two start getting into fights, because they will defend for each other, 100%, no doubt. So all Cynic needs to, all Roivers needs to do, pump in the laps. He's out of DRS range of Cynic already, so he's already got a second and a half on Cynic. All he needs to do is keep it consistent, keep it clean, and he will most likely have a pit stop gap by his pit stop, I think. I think he's looking to come in probably around lap 30, I'd say, 12 laps on the ultras at the end.
I do think he's going to go to softs, though. I do think he'll go to softs and basically just push like mad. So we'll see.
I'm against you there, Cam. I think he'll go on ultras, because if you factor in the railroad, you factor up how much it's going to grip up, how light the car's going to be at the end of the race, and also the fact that he's in clean air, so he can save these tyres right now. He can, chug along, save those tyres as best he can. I wouldn't be surprised if he manages to make, ultras, softs, ultras work. And I think it's Cynic that's going to have to go on the softs towards the end, because he has not been able to keep those tyres alive whatsoever. So the Cynic hype train has sadly derailed. And, well, the Lambert's hype train never really left the station. He's up to 9th, and he's going to have to come in relatively soon because he is on those mediums. But he is up to 9th. Just having a look a bit further down the order. Mike Almeida's down in 16th. Vigier is down in 13th. Brandholm 11th. So not really any changes in those regards. And again, like Cynic dropping off the back of Roivers, who's actually up 2 places. It's about 1.5 already now. 1.5 near 2 seconds. As they come across the timing beam. Oh, as Cass goes extremely wide through turn 4. Track limits much, Cass. Come on.
I hope Cass is going to the end and he's not trying to fight this because he also needs to make a pit stop. That would be interesting, but it looks like he looks like he's actively trying to stay on the back of it, on the back of the
Maybe he's
trailers.
underfueled slightly, which
I
would explain the pace early on.
I don't know. Underfueling doesn't really make a difference because you would only be able to go about 5 liters less and still make it to the end comfortably. So I don't think anyone would actually try that because the gain of 5 liters is not enough to warrant the benefit. So I don't know.
Maybe he's tried it. Maybe because it's such a short circuit. And look, he's getting aggressive. Cynic knows not to fight it.
Yeah, this is
Just
interesting,
lets him
Cass
breeze
Rayfeld.
on the inside.
Yeah, back up to 2nd place. So my guess is that he just has enough pace in the mediums.
I was about to say, or maybe he just feels that it's better to be in front of Cynic, not in the dirty air. Because he's been having some dirty air issues. Because this circuit's notorious for it. We've seen it every year we've raced here. The dirty air has been horrible here. If that's been causing him some excess tyre wear, it might be worth him just getting past Cynic, just to keep that the tyres alive. And with Pavlov, that's a point. Pavlov's been gaining on them. I think Cass has noticed that Pavlov's been closing and wants to get away from Cynic, so Pavlov doesn't close in, because Pavlov's on the same strategy, remember?
Yeah, he's probably... So as Cass is probably just making sure they don't get pit stop time, but he's now pulling away from Cynic.
Well, Cynic's destroyed his tyres.
Yeah,
I think struggling.
I think that... I don't think Henry is going to be able to make the tyre wear last what it needs to. So that's probably what it is. Cass doesn't want to get too far away.
Kartovic, Borodovsky, Batala, Gerard Batala, he's the only Batala left, so I can now say Batala. Batala, Lawrenson and Lomberts, all in a little scrap for 5th place on track.
Or Kartovic now go down the inside.
Dimitri Zaharov, a back marker coming out the pit lane. But side by side, I could see Borodovsky, the rear light flashing. And around the outside goes Kartovic. Oh, this is going to be tight on the exit. They bang cars. And Batala, no, don't try it here. No. Oh, no. Side by side. Thank God he's backed out.
The car behind as well. Tom Lombards as well. So 2 cars side by side.
Almost worked.
Yeah, it almost worked, but there was 2 pairs of cars going side by side through turn 4, which is not what we really want to see. But
it's not possible.
Yeah, but Tom couldn't make it work because he had to go too wide. But yeah, that is not really a corner you want to go side by side. It is just a little kink with a 1-line apex.
And it's on a crest as well. So not only have you got, the corners to worry about, but you've got it on a crest. And the car's unsettling itself. The weight transfers everywhere. You're going to end up in Helsinki by the time you finish. You're going to make it all the way to Finland if you have an accident there. So that is just the point. And Borodovsky, I fear his time in 5th place is up. But here we go. Kartovic on the DRS. Yeah, Borodovsky's gone defensive. Kartovic isn't really going to go for it. He's going to, just sniff around the outside. And now Batala's got the DRS and is closer to the back of Kartovic. No real moves being made here. And unless Batala decides that he wants to have a bit of a late suicide lunge up the inside, which he doesn't, and Tom, don't you dare do that either. They're also being caught by Gallia, Branton, Grandquist and Vigier, all who've made stops. So this is interesting. This is going to be a nice little developing fight we've got going on for, pretty high up in this race. And with the top 4, relatively far away by now. These guys are going to be scrapping it all day long, and Tom Lomberts is really trying to get past Lawrenson. Obviously, he's got to stop. He hasn't stopped yet. So we'll see what Lomberts can do. He will most likely go on to the softs, I think, if he can't make these tyres last. Even though the real road and the way the track's rubbered up is now sort of at that state, it's a bit too early, I think.
Oh, Rivers in the pit. Rivers is already in the pit lane onto the medium tyres. That, to me, that is...
Wait.
a really...
Unless that well, no, because when did he come in?
It's a 6-second pit stop, actually, so that was slow. So did
Damn.
he...
Karjovic is out. Karjovic has blown his engine, Cameron.
Oh. So that means he used too much quali boost
His
to
engine
defend.
was on fire.
Yeah, that means he probably used too much quali boost to defend, because there's no way you're running outfield, yeah, and with that fire, yeah. So he has done a mixture of overheated or overworn the engine.
Oh, but Battala and Borodovsky nearly side by side in the chicane where Hamilton and Rosberg came together back in 2016, and I saw that just a split second, and I thought, no, they're not going to try that, are they? Especially with the fact that Battala would have been on the outside. But well, these guys now actually, this is Battala onto the back of Borodovsky because Karjovic is out of the way. Now he's out of the equation, and with Borodovsky's tyres looking well about 7th hand at this point, and probably looking a bit like 50 pence pieces, will he come in? Yes, he will. So Borodovsky bails, unleashing the Battala train. All aboard the Battala train. Next stop, well, turn 1.
So this, basically, this train for P4, on the back of it now has Noah Rivers. So, oh, someone else has blown their engine. Who is that? I couldn't quite see in the background.
That's Grangfist. That is Grangfist. He's blown his engine.
Yeah, let's have a look, yeah.
Welcome to the Pro Championship, ladies and gentlemen.
Right, Academy.
I'm Alex Skinner. No, this is definitely Pro, Cameron. There's too many retirements for it to be Academy.
Yeah, it's, I don't really know. I know they sat on the grid for, a bit longer than some tracks, but still, that is probably just over boosting. And in the Academy Championship, because it's only a 42 lap race, 60% of WC, the engine life is also 60% shorter, so they have even less time to use the boost than the WC drivers can do. And it's not something you can see. You can't see engine wear. It is all a risk because you're not technically supposed to use it.
Up the front, Pavlov is on the back of Henry Sinek.
Yeah, Sinek has blown his tyres as well. He's now 5 seconds off Kasrietveld.
This is going to be an easy pass. And to the inside goes Pavlov. Sinek's just letting go. He's like, nah, I'm not going to fight that.
Yeah,
I've got nothing to fight you with, mate. Just go by and leave me alone.
Yeah, this just shows you how good the medium tyres are. They're just so consistent. The soft tyres were quick for the first 5 laps, and now they've dropped down.
Brandon on the inside of Galliard. And Brandon has made it work. But Galliard is going to have the DRS, and also Royve is going to have the DRS on Vigier. Oh, side by side, those two nearly running into each other due to the understeer. And, well, Royve is going to get the place from Vigier. As I hear crashing noises.
I can't see anyone. Oh, yes, Milan Rajkovic has just gone into the barrier as I click on him.
Rainey.
So they have had a... let's get a replay of this. Adam Rainey on the inside. He will have Milan come round the outside. And just a bit of wheel-to-wheel contact. Not much either of them could have done there. But Milan has lost his front wing and Adam Rainey has lost about 50% of his tyre wear. Wheel spinning. So that has not been a good situation for both of them. Just looked a bit tight, and obviously in an open wheel, if the wheels get locked together, you just can't really do much about it. However, back to the front, we've still got this massive battle. Henry Sinek is in the pit lane, but let's see if anyone can make a move down to turn 1, although it just seems like they all have DRS on each other. No, Rivers down the inside.
He's going to make it work, and he's, well, hold on a minute. He's still got DRS.
Yeah, because they're close enough to the car ahead as well, I think. The NRWO car. But let's see where Henry Sinek has come out. He's
come out and his engine was blowing up at the same point.
Henry Sinek is now P12. He's miles off. He's like 15 seconds off Rivers. This really hasn't been a good day for Henry Sinek so far, because he's barely going to get...
Well, he's down 11 places from the start. He's barely going to get
some half-decent points at this rate, because he's miles away.
Making a point, Battala has gained 24 places and is up in 3rd at the moment.
He's yet to make a pit stop, isn't
Yeah,
he?
no, he's yet to stop, but still.
Yeah.
That's isn't it? Same with Tom Lamberts, who's made up 23 places and is yet to stop. Like, excuse me?
Yeah.
These gains?
I really think Rivers and Cynic have blown an opportunity to win a race today. Because...
Oh, Lawrenson and Batalla.
Yeah,
Lawrenson very, very late to the inside. Makes the move
and
work.
in the background...
Oh, Lamberts. Jesus.
In the
That was
background,
close for Lamberts.
Vahir had to go as well at the Networks hard, but couldn't make it work. But yeah, no, Rivers, I mean, at best he's going to get, I think, like P3 here today. So, yeah, I guess that might be where he was, but he's going to be miles off Castorifeld, so he needs to try and get past these cars as quick as possible. But we all know this track is very difficult to overtake.
Pavlov is also sort of closing in on Castorifeld as well, because by the time that Pavlov was on the back of Cynic, he was 5 seconds back. He's now 4.2, so that gap slowly coming down, I'd say. But it's coming down nonetheless, and, you know, whoever can sabotage the most. Geez, Galliard getting very close to that barrier on the exit. As Lawrenson is kicking up some dirt, but that's just on the exit curb. We're going to see these guys on the DRS, and Pavlov can see Rayfeld into turn 1, so that's getting closer.
Jared Patella. Jared Patella comes back into the pit lane, and this is going to leave Tom Lombards very vulnerable because he... Oh no, he still did get the DRS actually.
He'll have DRS because the detections before the pit entry. Oh, and to the inside. Oh, also Galliard to the inside of Vahir. Sorry.
Oh, and Tom Lombards still is now trying to defend down to turn 2. However, they can't quite make that work, unfortunately. And no, Rivers now is trying to go around the outside, hasn't quite made that work. And yeah, Vahir got past Galliard because he was behind him last lap. So that's a nice move from the Breslin driver as well, who has made his pit stop, hasn't he? So that is a legit position for him up there in P7.
That is very true, actually. He's actually fighting Rivers, who's made 2 stops, and Vahir's made 1.
Yeah, this is what I mean for Rivers. He has done an extra stop, but he is behind because he didn't make the time. So it is a bit of a weird strategy call, especially as he went onto the mediums at the end. But Lawrenson, I should say, isn't too far up the road for 3rd place, so he can still get a podium.
Pavlov is closing as well, 3.9 the gap. Oh, I think this is going to get close, Cameron. I really think this is going to get close. And, well, Lamberts is still staying out. And now he's going to be left defenseless from the NRWO that has Lawrenson made his...
Oh, Tom Lombards is going to lose a... No, he hasn't. He's quite good on the brakes. And that gives Rivers a move right down the inside. He's going to have DRS as well. Can he make this double move for to get down the inside of Tom Lombards as well? No, he's going to have to go around the outside, but he's going to make this... He's going to try and make it work anyway. He's going to go right around the outside. Can he get his nose into turn number 3? Yes, he can. And they go side by side up into turn 4. This is going to be very close. Who has the biggest ones between the legs? And it looks like they're both going to try it. But Tom Lombards just manages to keep that. I mean, I'd say that is pretty much fair from both drivers all around. This is some nice hard racing that we like to see.
Not the greatest rejoin from Roivers though, because as you can see, Roivers did nearly have Brandholm on the grass. That was pretty close, and well, NRWO are fighting for a legitimate podium here.
Has he made? He's made his pit stop, hasn't he?
Yeah. Brandholm made his stop.
So who still needs to make a stop?
It's
just Lombard.
Stopped?
I'm pretty sure Lawrenson has, so it's just Lombards who still needs to make a pit stop. And he might be doing that now, actually.
He's doing that now,
yes, he is.
And it's going to give DRS to Roivers. So Brandholm is going to have DRS as well, because he was within a second.
He has 5 seconds to catch in 12 laps if he wants to make it onto the podium. And he's got Brandholm and Vahir behind them. And Brandholm and Vahir, I think this would be their best finishes in Formula Sim Racing. Ultra soft tyres for 12 laps. That is...
Well, it's doable, easily.
I would say that's still pushing it in terms of lap times at the end. But we'll have to see what he does.
He's out in 13th, so he's still going 15 places. And he's actually out behind Batalla, who's on the... Ooh. So Batalla's on the softs. Lamberts is on the ultras. This could get interesting.
Yeah, he's going to have 2-steps and sometimes 3-step softer compound tyres, and he's going to push like mad to try and get up some places. But as you can see on the track map, where he's coming up to the top right corner now, he is still
Cameron.
miles off the train.
3.7, the gap between the leaders. Pavlov
You think
is
Pavlov?
on a charge.
We'll see, because Pavlov has struggled with tyre wear, and he only pit 1 lap later than Rietveld. So maybe he's pushing now, but it's destroying his tyres. But as you say,
He's gained another 2/10 in that final sector.
Yeah, the gap is coming down, but we'll wait to see how that one works out.
Galliard in the pit lane. Galliard started on those, didn't he? I believe.
I would assume so if it's lap 30.
So into the pit lane comes Balas Galliard for his single stop. I also see a car leaving the pit lane. That is Dmitry Zaharov for his 3rd stop of the race, I think. Because I know he came in early, and I think he came in for damage as well. So I think it's his 3rd stop. Galliard onto the softs to the end. So it's safe to the end for Galliard. He's out ahead of Adam Rainey and Niranjan Kumar. And he's in the points as well. So Lomberts and Batala up another place. The two I was about to say the 2 Breslin cars gone. Getting Bodatovsky's car somehow, and Netrek's getting mixed up with a Breslin.
Yeah, Breslin have actually having quite a good race. They got car in 6th and 9th position so far. And if we go to the constructors table, they're down in 12th place with only 28 points. So this will give them a really good helping hand in the championship. So let's have a look at Henry Sinnick. He's down in 8th place on these medium tyres, and unfortunately this strategy of his hasn't worked out because he's actually behind Jackson Vent, who has
been going for absolutely ages now.
Yeah, he's trying to get ultra softs at the end as well, I guess, but Sinnick is actually going to be quite close here, and if he sets this up nicely, we'll have a
Vent
move.
Has stopped. Jackson Vent has stopped.
Did he?
Yes, he stopped a while ago actually. So this is on. This is legit.
Okay, so that actually proves that
Jackson Vent started on the softs. So
yeah, that shows that Sinnick's strategy hasn't been the best because he's 2-stopped and he's behind someone who was way down the field, but he could still get 7th position, and if he's quick enough, maybe 6th.
Okay, Cass is responding as well now, 3.8, so that gap's going up again. So I think Cass has gone, okay, it's getting a bit close for comfort. I'm just going to, push.
Yeah, I've just been told by one of Jackson's teammates that he is not stopping again. So this is legit 4th position for 7th position at the moment. And I'll tell you what, Ghost Speed today are going to lose a fair amount of points in the Constructors' Championship. Although there is actually only one ISIM RS car in the points at the moment.
I was about to say, there's only one ISIM RS car and it's leading.
But let's have a...
Although, Rakovic isn't that far off the back of Kumar.
7 and 12 is 11. So still going to be losing another 14 points if it stays like this. And they're already 54 behind.
Sinnick and Vent. Sinnick to the left of Jackson Vent into turn 1. And Vent is still there. He's still there. Little love tap on the wheels. Nothing major. And they still go side by side to turn 2. And will Vent be able to hold it on the outside? He's known for his good moves, but no, he's going to have to back out of it. So Vent backs out of it. Lets Henry Sinnick through. And, well, Bodatovsky's got Almeida and, well, that is the back marking car, I believe, of Zaharov, I want to say. Yeah, Dmitry Zaharov behind, and we'll see. Zaharov's actually looking pretty quick at the moment on those mediums, so good to see that Zaharov's actually got some pace in him at the moment.
Yeah, unfortunately...
Galliard! Wow! Galliard just keeping it out of the barrier. And he's gonna keep going, because obviously he's in 13th place, so he's got, he's got points on the table for Netrex. And that, that little points fight I said about,
God, Galliard's lucky not to defend
the back. He did. He slightly he nudged it when he came.
Did he boop it?
It was like, it was that like you're in a car park and you just misjudge it slightly and you just give it a little love tap. It just bends the bumper instead.
I personally have not hit something in the car park, so
you would know full well. Then again, you are an expert lawnmower, Cameron, so you know we would
Oh,
be able to.
Sorry, Tom Lombart's on the outside of Jared Batella. So this is his first car that he needs to overtake. He's got the gap down. He's on these ultra soft tyres, and he is going to try and make some of these positions work to get back up the field. However, he's already spent about 5 laps getting there, so his tyres won't be
He hasn't really
prettiest.
had to push though. Hasn't really had to push. If you think about it, compared to the softs, he can just really just keep it generally close. And in front of him, you can see Zaharov and you can see Mike Almeida. So, as much as Almeida's had a really good race, he's going to be out of the top 10 before too much longer.
Yeah, we'll see what happens behind. He has got these couple of cars behind. He's obviously slightly on the back foot on those medium compound tyres. So let's see what he can do in his Breslin car. And Noah Rivers has halved the gap to Alfie Lawrenson for the battle for P3. And Pavlov, yeah, the gap's gone back up to 5.5 seconds. So I think Cass is just managing that gap. He knows what he needs to do. He's done this for his other 2 race wins this year in Melbourne and China. He's just controlled the race from the front. And will Tom Lombards this time be able to get past the TCS off racing car? No, he's a bit too far back actually on this lap.
A little fight that is brewing as well. 16th place and 15th place. Kumar and Rakovic.
For the last point.
Yeah, the last point. So it's, you know, it's not a pointless battle. But definitely one.
It will be pointless for someone.
Well, yeah, for one of them it will be a pointless venture, but you know, we'll see. But obviously, it will be down to the DRS and Kumar. Well, his car is not looking too handy on those tyres, it seems. But as Rakovic exits the final corner onto the DRS,
he's going to have a chance.
Plenty of overspeed to the inside goes Rakovic. And beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Still side by side though. And that is, wow, that's just clean around the outside for Rakovic. Kumar not even trying to defend that one. As Dmitry Zaharov's out of the race as well. So that leaves us with 16 cars.
And as you can see on the left tower, you've got the lighter grey and the darker grey. And the lighter grey is top 15 for the where the points finishes, and it's 15 points in the Pro and the Academy Championship. Oh no, Noah Rivers is now right on the back of Alfie Lawrenson. This is the battle for P3.
This is a fresher mediums versus, well, you know, pretty ancient mediums at this point. And with not many laps to go, 6 laps to go when they cross the line.
Oh, Noah was lifted off there, so he knows he's going to be able to have this. He's just trying to set himself up for the DRS. And it seems, yeah, Alfie's tyres are pretty done. We have 5 laps to go in this race. And who was that? Was that a crash?
That is Naranjan Kumar in the pit lane without a front wing.
Yeah, he must have crashed at the final corner. But
his tyres have completely shot themselves. And, well, here comes Roivers. Roivers to the inside on the DRS. Well, that's pretty much job done. Lawrenson goes, go right through this, sir. I'm not going to fight you at all. And
so
Henry Sinek is past Vigier, as Bodakowski is in the pit lane.
This is Vigier catching up, isn't it? I'm pretty sure Sinek was already ahead. I think this is Vigier catching up.
Sinek was behind Cameron. Sinek was behind, and he went to the inside of Vigier into turn 1, and Vigier just let him have it.
Ah, okay. So this is still only P6 though, when he was in P2.
Oh, Lombard is also past Batalla. He's now on the back of Mike Almeida. So, here we go, gentlemen. Round 1.
Yeah. So I've got a replay here of Tom Lombards getting past. It looks like it's going to be a DRS move down into turn number 1. See Tom with the Ultra Softs getting a nice clean exit, and yeah, that is comfortably down the inside for Tom Lombards, who race winner a couple of races ago at Silverstone, but is down in P10. It's actually a bit of a silly mistake. He forgot to allocate. All of the drivers have to basically sign up to each race. They have to say that they are attending, and if they don't by a certain deadline, then it is assumed they are not racing. So if they show up like he has today, then they get a penalty. And it's just one of those formal processes that was not completed. And he might be able to get P6 from Mike Almeida now, down into turn
P9,
one.
you mean, Cameron? As he
That
goes
is exactly
to the
what I meant.
inside, and a beautiful move, and as Cameron tries to recalibrate his number counting.
So this is going to be a bit better for Ghost Speed, because they will now be getting 13 points.
He's not far
No,
off the
15
fight for
points.
5th either, though.
Yeah, so yeah, they might be able to close down some of this, but yeah, if they want to win this Constructors' Championship, they're going to need to do a bit better than they have so far this race.
Everyone has those poor races, and well,
Henry Cynic might have 5th
yeah.
place. He might have 5th place on this lap.
He was looking very, very close, and he's getting very, very close again, is Henry Cynic, and, well, Vigier is not that far, and, well, the two Ghost Speed cars are nose and tail, and they're closing in on these guys, and...
Didn't get the best exit, though.
Yeah, no, he seemed like he didn't really get much traction out of the corner, but the overspeed is king, and he goes to the outside of turn one.
On the grass.
He's on the grass, it locks the wheel up, and here comes Vigier once again on the DRS, and... Wow, it didn't even give Cynic DRS as Cynic runs wide. The car not really wanting to grip up, it seems.
Yeah, the detection zone is just at the apex of turn one, so when he went off, he might have actually lost a second just at that point. However, he is right on the back. We've now got Mike Almeida and Jared Batella fighting down as well for P10, but let's keep with this battle for Henry Cynic, P5. We have got 3 laps to go at the end of this one. So still 3 laps to go, and Casper Reveld is leading by 6.5 seconds, so that is pretty comfortable for them up there. So let's see what Henry Cynic can do on this attempt. Last time, he got a little bit too close, because you kind of double apex the last corner, and he got a little bit too close at the first kind of apex.
Oh, that was close to the back.
Yeah, so what he needs to do is he needs to go wide, stay outside of the dirty air, get the front end in. Although he's not quite as close this lap.
No, the front end.
He will have a go. He will definitely have a go, because he was this far back last time round. So will he go to the inside this time? No, he tries to go around the outside. So he's obviously trying to set himself up for this DRS zone down into turn 2. He's got right down the inside. He's got right down the inside.
Side by side. Oh, and side by side. Both Ghost Speeds are side by side as well. I think it's going to be a switcheroo.
Henry's going to keep.
Brandl.
Oh, that was millimeters away from a massive crash. Henry needs to be careful, because he still has a couple of laps to do this. But let's quickly check out those two Ghost Speed cars, and Tom Lombards has got past Jackson Went.
Felix getting impatient.
Yeah.
The body language of that car is very impatient indeed, and it's just allowing the two Ghost Speeds just to cruise up to the back of them. And well, Henry Cynic is. You can just see everywhere. It's aggressive. It's it's pointy. It's aggressive. It's not flowing and trying to work with the dirty air effect. And Vigier is backed off from these guys going, now I'm not getting involved if you two come together.
See, it's this corner here. He gets very close this corner. So what he needs to do is he needs to just try and stay. Guys, this is better. This is a lot better than last time. And now he needs to try and, go wide. Stay outside of that dirty air. Come in. But nah, he couldn't quite get the front end in.
Oh, the rear end. No, because that was because the rear end wanted to come round on him. So it's like, if he goes too wide, the rear end wants to come around. If he goes too tight...
Go inside. He needs to go to the inside on this lap. No,
he's going to go to... Oh my god, that's late on the brakes, and that's brave.
Wow, I didn't realise...
He's going to give Brandl the DRS, and that is beautiful.
Yeah, I was not expecting him to be that good on the brakes, I have to say.
He's gone wide, and here comes Brandl. It's not going to be able to make it work through there. And Brandl, being a smart driver... Oh no, don't try it here, thank god. Oh, Brandl's going to run wide. Here comes Vigier. Will Vigier make a move into the chicane? Because it's possible if he gets the run. He's not got the run.
Yeah, it's very tight. Yeah, you would have to be past going into that first apex because of the sausage curbs. And I'd say no, looking back at the front, No Rivers is only 5 seconds off Pavlov, so he's halved that gap. But it's still not really going to be enough with just 1 lap to go as Cas Rietveld comes around the final corner to start this final 40-second lap of the Hungarian Grand Prix.
Also, another point, Drillers are going to be picking up a massive amount of points from this race, 4th and 5th at the moment.
Yeah, Alfie and Henry are very, very good signings for Drillers. They have a very strong future in this Academy Championship for the remaining 6 races after this race, and I expect them to be getting some good points. Can Verheer pick up 6th place? Wow, Brentholm broke very early, and if Verheer is almost spins. Oh, that's a shame. That really has put away his chance to get P6.
I wouldn't say it has, because that car has been extremely capable of just closing up to the back.
And who is this? This is Patella has got past Jackson Went as well on this last lap. So Jackson's tyres have really fallen off here. That is P10 for him.
But Cameron, it's been, I'd say, textbook. Once again, the SimRacing guys, I think, back on form with their strategy, with the pace, and with their practice. Because as he comes around the final corner, Cas Rietveld is going to win the FSR Academy Hungarian Grand Prix and take the title lead back. Pavlov, an outstanding drive by the Royal Blue driver to finish second, and Roivers making the best of a bad strategy to finish third. Alfie Lawrenson is going to finish 4th on that one-stop strategy.
He's happy about that.
Stopping teammate. Drillers 4th and 5th. NRWO 6th place with Brantholm. 7th is Vigier. 8th is Lomberts from the pit lane. 9th is Batalla from the very back of the grid. 10th is Jackson Venn. 11th is Mike Almeida. 12th is Boratovsky. 13th, if he makes it to the line, because that
he's
very
saving
much
fuel.
seems like he's saving fuel. Is he going to make it? Come on, you've only got 2 corners left.
God, it
Put
doesn't
it
sound
on
nice.
the pit limiter, man.
Oh, just get Cas
He's
Rietveld
got
doing
Adam
some
Rainey.
donuts.
If he runs out and has to coast to the line, Adam Rainey's not far behind him.
Oh no, he's managed to make it work.
And he's across the line. Galliard, 13th for Netrex. 14th is going to be Adam Rainey after what was a horror show of the first few laps for him.
Rajkovic will pick up the last point, but he is a lap down. So he's actually already finished. So he's actually just done another lap.
Extra lap for a laugh.
Well,
he obviously had the spare fuel, didn't he?
Yes, but it was Cas Rietveld who has got the 25 points today. That is his 3rd race win of the season, and that has really helped him in the championship. He will now have a 15-point lead over Jan Woznicka, who did not show up today, and that really sets us up for an awesome battle in the final 6 races of the season.
It definitely does indeed. But, as we say, this isn't the end of all the action here at the Hungaroring. Because if you join us in about, an hour's time? We'll be gearing up and revving up for what's going to be the Pro Championship here from the Hungaroring, where you will join us for what is going to be an interesting race of sorts, and we'll see how the pro drivers, the second highest here, will take it on. And then the big one, ladies and gentlemen, it's going to be the World Championship. Oh boy, is that going to be fun, because is the party over for Simoncic? Gosby's been very, very much on top recently, and well, I think he can do it again, but you'll have to wait and see. But what's next for the Academy Championship? Well, 25th of August, we take a bit of a break. We come back in August on the 25th for the Belgian Grand Prix at the Circuit de Spa-Francorchamps. I have been Alex Skinner, and alongside me has, been my other faithful cameraman and friend and colleague and commentator, Cameron Rodger, the owner of the Flag to Flag. And, Cameron, we actually didn't have anyone win the Flag to Flag Space Program trophy. I'm actually relatively disappointed. We got the Pro Championship to live up to its name next, so we will see you in an hour's time for the Pro Championship. But from myself here in the academy booth, and well, on behalf of Cameron alongside me, it's goodbye for now and take care.